Hello and welcome back. I hope everybody's doing fine. I know it's been a little bit since I've done a show. I think it's been a week or so. But there's been a lot going on, as you guys know, not just with what's going on in the world, but with everything. So, I just figured I'd do this little show, do an open chat. I'll give people a little bit to try to come in. The things I want to go over are like the stuff that we've seen going on since January 20th, so pretty much in the last month. And a lot of us, we might as well say we did see this kind of stuff coming, and it's just pretty messed up if you ask me. But let's see, it looks like we have one person watching, which is normal. I think my last live I had 3 people. Yahoo! But anyways, it is what it is. And I haven't really sat down and made up any videos and stuff. But the first thing I want to touch base on is I did the video on HR 127 and what it means. I went through it all, and it still hasn't made it into the Senate or the House to be voted on. It's still just waiting to be checked out and voted on. But Biden seemed to think that he had to sign an executive order. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? He had to sign an executive order to try to rush and bring these things forward. And like the, the ammunition, that kind of stuff, the 10-round clip, because, you don't need anything more than 10 rounds. Which in any case, it's what? A police officer, when in action, it's like I saw the statistics, and their hit to miss ratio ain't really that good. So you're talking, you can go to the shooting range, plug bullseyes all day long. But even those of us who hunt, we know when you're put into a situation, your heart gets thumping, things get going. You literally, even just hunting deer, you'll miss, the miss is easy. Now think of someone coming at you with a gun or coming at you with a weapon, and you're sitting there pulling up real quick. You're all frantic, trying to rack off that shot and hit them. Well, it might take you 5, 6, 7 shots, just to get a hit. And the hit and miss ratio, that's if they're aiming for if the police were aiming for the chest and they hit him in the leg, it's a hit. It was a hit on the body, so that counts as a hit. So they're just pretty much making it so you can't defend your own house, and that's the way I see that with the 10 rounds and going after military assault rifles. Or assault style rifles, whatever it was. They even, they're going to be going after some of the pistols. And I still haven't found answers about the 50 cal black powder. If ammunition over 50 cal and above is not allowed, that's pretty much, you're at that with a black powder, a 50 cal round. So is that, are those going to be the things that we're not going to be able to see? So he's pushing for that. He decided he had to go and make an executive order instead of waiting for that HR 127 to come in. So we know that that's going on. And this has been bugging me since it's all started. Where they stopped building the wall. And all fine and dandy. We pretty much, like the title says, did we see this coming? Yeah, I'm going to get to that, Lynn. With building the wall, Yeah, we saw it coming when we found out that Biden was taking over, because as we all know, orange man bad, anything he wanted to do, they were against it. So now they're going to go back and take it all away. But yet they want to close down the borders to places like Florida. Domestic travel, not close it down, but make it through. You got to go through checkpoints and all this shit and all that. But yet we ain't even supposed to call them illegals anymore, but they literally are illegal immigrants, illegal aliens coming into America in an area that there is no checkpoint. They're okay with that. And then to boost it, they want to take and make it so that some of these people who's been sitting there, at first it was 10 years, I think it was, to get them nationalized, legalized, get them their green cards, their working visas and all that. Well, that's now been bumped up to, they want to do it in 3 years or less. Trying to beat an election? Trying to get them in here before another election? Who knows? So we know his stance on all that. He took away that local law enforcement, your state police, county, towns, and all that, they're not allowed to work with ICE anymore. He pretty much said no more of doing that. So they're literally taking and screwing everything with that up, and that's always been his immigration policies. They want the people who will work for Jack to come in to this country and work. They don't want to pay the worker. It's $7.87, whatever it is an hour. I think it's $7.85 or $7 something like that an hour minimum wage. They don't want to pay that to the, that's too much money for them. They don't even want to pay that. So they'll get these illegals to come in who will work for less, which I worked with some Jamaicans and stuff when I lived up in Maine on a farm. And I'll tell you what, those boys worked, but they made some mad cash because we got paid by the bushel on what we harvested. But they came and they worked. But if it was by the hour, I don't think they would have got that kind of work out of them. But these guys were all here legally. They literally got their work visas, came up from Jamaica, worked during the summers, and went back home. So I can see that. And then the other thing that gets me about it all is in this new so-called relief package, or whatever you want to call it, that he wants to make, the $15 an hour. Arguments on both sides on that. I can see, because I actually looked it up earlier, and if minimum wage kept up with inflation at the pace that it has gone, minimum wage would be, I think it was 24 well, just over $24 an hour would be minimum wage right now if it kept up with inflation. Well, now, okay, who's getting all this money off the inflation? Well, we all know the answer to that is these big corporations. And they don't want to pay the minimum wage. And they're turning around and they're blaming it on the mom and pop stores. Well, yeah, some of these stores might hurt. It's literally what you're doing is taking away from the owner. You're taking away from the amount that they make. Okay, if a mom and pop store, like the one in the small town that I grew up in, let's say she made $300,000 a year. Okay, so instead of $300,000, she'd have to make $250,000. But your employees would be better off. They'd be able to feed themselves and everything. All right, Lynn, have a good night. And it's just strange. So that's also part of the border thing. Okay, why the push to bring the minimum wage up to 15? And you want to open up so all these immigrants can come in and fast track them to literally getting them to be citizens. But, and with that, it's the, 11 million illegals that are in the United States, which has been that way since what, the 80s? 11 million? Yeah. It's more like 20 or 30 million by now, without a doubt. And then you have all these caravans coming up. What are they going to, right now, with everything that we're going through as a country, as a world, economically, it's a bad time for soft politics like that when it comes to these things. A very bad time, in my honest opinion. Actually, any time's a bad time to have soft politics when it comes to stuff like that. But we all know, the normal American don't have the money to send to these big corporations. So that's the way that's going to be. And it's going to be all about the corporations. But yet they're sitting there saying how it's going to hurt. And Walmart is, I think it's 450,000 of their employees or something like that are going to be making over $15 an hour. They're bumping their price up. Their starting pay is still going to be 11, but they're bumping the price up for over 450,000. I think that was the number. Employees that they're going to boost their price up over $15 an hour. Now I know that there's things like places in Maine and stuff, it's $15 an hour minimum wage. Been seeing that go off all over the place. And if you ask me, they could look at that and see how that all tested out. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more than 11 million that they're documenting. I'm telling you now, it's going to be a lot more. But yeah, they can look at these cities and areas that did the 15 an hour, how it worked out for them, and go from there instead of arguing, oh, businesses are going to close. Well, guess what, you guys? With what we've been through in the last year, a lot of businesses have closed. A lot of mom and pop shops. Yes, a lot of little online businesses are popping up here and there. People are starting to sell their goods online. And we kind of, I actually, once again, I saw this coming when the whole thing hit and everything was getting locked down, because they were like, oh yeah, just call in, order your food, go online, order your food, go online, order your groceries, go online, do this. So the big stores are already starting to do it. So yeah, the entrepreneur, it's a home run hit. Go online, open up your stuff. Even Walmart, you can go on, and if you make enough product, you can go on and onto a Walmart website. I can't remember how you do it. I'll have to look into it again. But you can literally sell your merchandise through the Walmart website. And that's right where it's the shipped by, and it won't be Walmart. It'll be Jay-Z, whatever, whoever it is that you're literally ordering it through. So Walmart's got their finger in on that. And a lot of little people are seeing, hey, wait a second. If we can go through a big box retailer like that online, you get your product out to a lot more people. Only the strong survive. Yeah. But, and another thing is, okay, I'm going to go there. China. Now Biden was like, oh, it was it was a long conversation for 2 hours. And pretty much the only takeaway that I got from that and him talking about it was China does what China does, and I'm not going to say a word to him. But yet, how can you sit there and, he's, oh yeah, they're doing whatever they're doing to the Uyghurs out in the mountains, and Taiwan, and how they want to get rid of the one country rule or whatever it is there that they've been fighting over there. And then he's like, but keep he understands what I'm saying, that because America has to rule the way America has to rule. China, they rule the way they rule no matter what. They don't have to rule that way, but they do. So he showed right there that he don't care. And he's always, I almost guarantee if you go back and look, when jobs got sent to Mexico, Canada, China, Japan, and that's the thing, when jobs left America, people, they didn't go directly to China. They didn't go directly to Japan. A lot did go to Mexico. A lot of them went down to Central America. A lot of them went to India. They just went to places that they could pay their labor for cheaper, which is why they want this labor brought back here now. Now, if we get the cheaper labor up here, they can have their factories and stuff up here with a cheaper labor. And once again, comes to more money in their pockets. So we can actually say that we've seen this coming. We literally have. Cripes, he won the election by sitting in his basement the whole time. You know, everybody else was going after Trump. He didn't have to. He didn't have to bring out the dirt on Trump. He had other people doing it. He had Como, who now, is in the news because he falsified records, and the whole time he's blaming Trump, he's doing things behind the back, which to me was a watch the right hand, but you can't see what the left hand is doing. You know, and it's sad. But at the same time, it is what we saw coming. And then with Facebook. Now, we all should have seen this. We all should have known that this is the way this is going to be going. They're even fighting with countries. Australia. I think Australia told them it has something to do about paying for news articles, paying for the news. And Facebook was like, nope, boom. Nobody in Australia can get news, read news, or share news over Facebook because they don't want to spend a little bit of money to put it out there to people who bring out the news. So that's the way that's been going. And then I honestly still think Biden's only in there for just over 2 years, but we'll see how that comes, how that plays out. Long enough to make it so Camilla can get in there, have a few years under her belt, run, have the first time she runs and win, be her first term, and then she can run for a second term because she's only coming off as the incumbent, but didn't spend long enough as the president when she took over from Biden. That's a whole scenario. Yeah, it is. It is sad. It is hurting people. And then we still have, like the shot. They're pushing everybody to get it. I still know it's still experimental. And that's my honest opinion. People are still passing away from it. People are still having allergic reactions to it. So that's just the way it's going to be with that. And they're saying, well, once you get vaccinated, you're still going to need to wear a mask and social distance. So, okay, you guys, this is not a vaccine then. In my honest opinion, this falls under that it's going to be preventative medicine. That's it, because you can still catch it, but you won't get as sick. Oh, but we don't know if it's going to, battle the African strand, or if it's going to battle this one, or if it's going to be. This is all aimed towards the one that we originally had. Oh, and by the way, the variant that was in New York is not the variant that showed up in California. They each had two different variants. That's why New York was so much worse. Okay, that was the early days of this. If they're trying to say that there were two different variants then, and that's why they're going after Cuomo so bad, because that's the variant that really attacked America. I don't know. It just keeps getting fishier and fishier and fishier. Yeah, Lynn, that's why she's the one who's been making phone calls to world leaders. It ain't been Biden doing much of it, but Camilla has. And Usually your vice president's not the one who's making the calls out to heads of other countries, and she has been doing that. But, you know, and then in the news, and we all knew that this was going to be happening. The whole time, the last 4 years, all we've heard is Orange Man bad. Oh, he's doing this. Oh, he's doing that. Oh, we got to impeach him. Oh, this has to happen. Biden's in the office, and it's now that you're in the White House, no, not as the vice president, but as the president, how does it feel to be there? What time do you go to bed? Oh, what did you get? What do you do when you get up in the morning? Okay, these ain't questions that should be asked of a president who's coming in, because we already know he's not reaching what he said he wants to do in his first 100 days. Which brings me to my next thing I want to get on. The school openings. All right. We have states that have had their schools open from the get-go. They close down for a little bit, open them right back up. They say that children under a certain age are not as affected as bad, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Well, now it's like, oh, we got to get the schools open. That was part of our 100-day plan. So, okay, yeah, let's get all the kids K through 8 in school 1 day a week. Well, we got the schools open. It's 1 day a week, but we got the schools open. No. Yeah, she does the calls and he goes and does the visits. So with that all, it's and I mean, this is my honest opinion. The teachers haven't had to work in a year in some of these places. Some of the bartenders, the waitresses, and everybody else who had to go and lose their jobs going through all this, had to get laid off, had to cut back on hours. They didn't get paid 100% all of what they do, but yet the teachers are. And they're the biggest ones right now keeping the kids out of school. And that's from what I see. Okay. Oh, we need to have the vaccine first. We have to go into the school with the kids. We have to have the vaccine first. The schools ain't safe enough. We need more money. Well, you know what? Your budget for the last year on the school systems, ain't no money been spent on the buses. Ain't no money been spent on the gas. Ain't no money been spent on the food. So yeah, you don't need no more money. Why he thinks he has to send all that extra money to the schools to open up is beyond me, because they already have a budget for over a year that they have not spent money out of. And then we have the video, literally, there's that video out there of the teachers. Oh, they just want their babysitters back. I've actually heard people who teach consider themselves are babysitters for the children. They're not. If they think that they're in the schools to be the babysitters for the kids, that is absolute 100% bullshit. Because their job is not to babysit. Their job is to teach the children. Teach them about the history, reading, writing, arithmetic, science. Hey, we follow the science. The government says that all the time. Well, the kids should be able to learn the science. And to me, it's the teachers union and people like that who are stopping the schools from being open. It's not, I don't know. I have a funny feeling money's going somewheres. And that's always the case in everything. Follow the money. But yeah, so, and then with that, the other part about the school parts is student loan forgiveness. And I've heard a lot of arguments on this. I've heard a whole bunch of arguments on this. And here's the thing. All right. One of the arguments, and I had to laugh being a construction worker, was, okay, to be an architect, you have to go to school and spend a lot of money. Well, when you get out of school, you make a lot of money. But in this argument that they were talking about this in, this is right where I kind of sat there and chuckled. For an architect to build a building, no, I'm sorry, the architect does not build the building. He comes up with a wet dream in his fucking head, goes on his computer, draws it up. Okay, it works on the computer and the program on the computer, gets it approved, gets it sold, gets it sent to the job site. The end of his job with it. Unless something comes up, and I've been on a few jobs that shit has come up, that it's like, hey, dude, we can't make woodwork do this. We can't make metal do this. Did you realize that this roof and this roof, if we do it the way that you said, they're going to be 8 inches off? We make it work. But yet your construction workers, the ones who are out there doing the physical labor, pulling the magic off, making optical illusions happen in buildings, they're the ones who don't get paid. But yet the architects and all them, they feel like all of a sudden it's the loan forgiveness. Oh, it's too expensive for kids. Once again, you guys, the college, yes, it's getting too expensive. But here's the thing. The cost of living has gone up. So the price of college has gone up. The price of gas has gone up. That's all part of the cost of living. Once again, it falls back to the minimum wage has not gone up in, 20 years or something stupid like that? If it keeps up with the cost of everything going up, inflation, like I said, it'd be over $24 an hour would be the minimum wage. That's point blank been proven. I looked it up, and that's the answer that I found on quite a few websites. So with that being said, they chose to go to college. They chose that bill. Why should that bill fall back on the taxpayers, especially those of them who struggle to make ends meet on their own? Why? You know, I went to college for, 8 months? Guess what? I ended up having to pay that back myself. My ex-wife, she went to schooling. When we got divorced, because she signed up for some courses while I was married to her still, I had to pay for some of her college. Your choice, your bill. Point blank. You get this regular schools open. They're worried about college. Okay. They're worried about these kids not being able to pay their college bills. But yet they didn't give a rat's ass when they shut America down. They didn't give a shit that this kid who's out there fucking working his ass off to pay off his student loans lost his job and now he can't pay his student loan. But, oh, wait, the schools are crying for their money. So that's what's going to happen. The federal government is going to pay these loans. You're not going to get these schools like Yale and all that stuff to say, oh, no, we can't just give that money up. Shoot, even Bowdoin College, the University of South Carolina, any of these places, they're not going to give that tuition up. They're going to want that money. So that money's got to come from someplace. Oh, here we go. Another couple $1 trillion into debt goes America because he wanted to forgive student loans. We're going to fall further and further behind the further and further we go into this since January. And I don't know about how many, and like I keep saying, I don't know how many of you guys noticed it, but I've seen this coming. So it's just a shame that, it all had to go this way. And now this is it's what? 1 month and 14 days, 15 days, something like that. The fences and stuff have been up in Washington, D.C. Now, I remember when I saw them dragging things across, they were like a dog fence styled fence, about 6 foot high, and they were putting regular barbed wire across the top of them. They were black. Being able to drag them out. Well, the pictures I saw lately in the video that I actually watched about it, the fences are now 7 foot high. They look like they're silver. They're not black anymore. Yeah, they're not black anymore. They're silver. And you guys, it's not barbed wire on top. It's razor wire. Okay, they have turned Washington, D.C. into a compound. And they are pushing the narrative that everybody... Yeah, I know, Lynn. Everybody knows that what they're pushing is wrong. Christ, and who the dude who had something to, I had his name's right on the tip of my tongue, but he had something to do with promoting and getting together a lot of these marches throughout the summer, and CNN paid him $35,000 for his footage off his cell phone. He's a YouTuber. It's a big thing. He has something to do with BLM, not the radio station in Maine. But yeah, they gave him $35,000 for all of his cell phone footage, all the footage that he has. So to me, that's a little bit suspicious too. Out of all the cell phones that were there, he's the one who gets this deal with CNN. The stories that come out of that day is just, I just shake my head and laugh at most of them. I mean, they can't even say it with the right attitude. Can't even put themselves in the right places in some of the situations. But, it is what it is. Yeah, I tried calling him again earlier, but no answer. So, yeah, we have him backtracking everything that's been taking place in the last 4 years, cuddling back up to China, the G7 summit. That was the next one I wanted to go to. When Biden made the speech at the G7 summit and announced that America is back, Germany didn't want nothing to do with it. France didn't want nothing to do with it. Our Asian allies and other people, other countries, point blank, no, we're going to go with things the way that the old administration, the Trump administration, what they started is what we're going to continue working with. And then they don't believe him. Because, and here's the thing, and this is just my own thought on this and my own opinion on why they don't believe him. America has been the world police. Anytime something happens, America to the rescue. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, no. So for 4 years, we had a president who America first. Put America before anybody. Oh, if we're getting screwed out of that deal, hell with that, we ain't going to be there. I ain't even going to bother going there. I ain't going to bother talking to them. No. Not unless we as America, we as Americans can come out with something in our favor instead of being the ones being screwed out of the whole situation. Well, this is where Germany and France, who both hated Trump, look at it. You were gone for 4 years. What's to say in 4 years somebody else comes in and does the same thing? America ain't back. To them, America ain't back. To me, we lost America. We lost the things that have been being fought for. And that's being proven and proven more and more and more and more. Like when you go into YouTube and you just, like with me, most of the time, I don't really watch the regular TV that often. It's always on for a background noise or something. I look up certain things on YouTube. A lot of my news I got from the outlets on YouTube because a lot of them, they like with me. I will watch CNN. I will watch CNBC and all that. You got to watch it. But I will also watch the alternatives, the alternative media, because there are two sides to every story. And if you watch CNN, CNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, all of them, they all push the same exact narrative. And I've even seen videos that they tell the stories almost word for word with each other. It's like a giant script written up and sent out to all the big mainstream media. So you get to the independent stations, and it's news given the way that they are. It's they write the news. They do the investigating on the news. They give their opinion, which is I do that quite a bit on my channel. I always have. I've always given my opinion. And who knows? It might be safer for some of our channels to put it in the description. We're always putting powder on their asses. Now it's time for America. Need to do what is best for America here. People need her more than other countries do. Right. And I'm going to get to that here in a second. So yeah, lost my train of thought. But all right, to get on with what has to do with that point that Lynn just made. Why are we giving out $6 billion to other countries to get the virus? I mean, to get the virus, to get the vaccine, and helping with their kids getting back in school and stuff when we can't even do that here in America. Biden himself, he admitted we didn't have any vaccines when I came into office, but yet there's pictures of him, video of him getting a shot. We all know about Operation Warp Speed. We know that was all here before he took office. And to me, that's part of what's going on with the cancel stuff. Let's take everything away. And this is a point that I wanted to make. Now, years and years and years ago, now not that many, well, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, might have been a little bit longer, when they started ripping down all the statues and started going after everything. That's when there were a lot of us who were upset about that and mad that they were trying to do that, and I still think it's it's okay, Lynn. I still think that it's they're trying to not cancel history, but delete it and rewrite it to make things look different, to make, and the sad thing is schools now are not going to put out Shakespeare. 5, Vern. Schools now is not going to put out Shakespeare. They're actually taking his books off the shelf because he's racist. Shakespeare it's lessons in life. Stories about humility, about going against the grain for what's in your heart. What's your Romeo and Juliet, 2 dueling families, 2 kids that fell in love with each other, but they decided to go after it, even though they knew that their families would hate them for it. I think it's Midsummer's Night's Dream or whatever it is. These stories, they're not, I don't see where they're getting that he's racist. It's actually telling you to think on your own, to be yourself, to be an individual. That's everything. And that's right where some of the classic books, the classic movies even, a lot of lessons in them, they don't want people to know anymore. It's like, and this is what it blows my mind, how people are actually bowing down to it. But that's part of what I think is going on now is They're going to go after more and more. Cripes are already going after the gun rights. We know that, the Second Amendment. They're going after the First Amendment, even though right now it's just, okay, let's try it online. Let's see what we can get happening. Let's have Facebook do what they want. Okay, but yet now, here's the other thing. If it was someone from the Republican side who had a big internet company, let's just say MySpace actually made it and didn't get drowned out by Facebook. And MySpace is run by a Republican. Well, if they turn around and they start shutting the Democrats' mouths up, shutting the little whiny asses up, shutting their voices down so that they can't be heard and they don't have a voice, do you think that our government would let that fly? Or do you think that they'd turn around and go, oh, hey, MySpace, I'm sorry, you can't be doing that. You can't be silencing people. But yet they're allowing this all on Twitter, YouTube, Google. And Google, we've seen it since forever. You look something up and good luck trying to find exactly what you're looking up. You literally have to know every key word that goes with it. And what's even better is if you can write out exactly what you're looking up to be able to find it. Yeah, lessons on life and love. That's what Shakespeare is. So the internet side of censorship, which is exactly what it is the beginnings to what I think is coming even more. Cripes, they're keeping the military in Washington, D.C. till the end of September now, the National Guard. The gates and stuff are staying up till the end of September now. You guys, they don't need them right now. But yet they're acting like they're still scared about what happened on January 6th. I think they're expecting something more to happen because it's like I said, it's been a month and 14 days. No, 15 month and 15 days. Today's 21st, right? So yeah, a month and 15 days. Nothing more has come out of it. All that they've done is keep on that narrative on the news. Matter of fact, it was at some time yesterday, it came out about the 5 Oath Keepers being brought up on charges from it now. So they're still looking for people. And then they're, it all came off of places like Parler, this and that. Well, wrong. More of the planning and talking about what happened came over Facebook. Okay, sorry, Zuckernuts. It came over your site. Point blank. I think there was only 9 people that even had anything to do with Parler. Other than that, out of the 200 or whatever it was that they claim rushed the White House, it's such a minute amount even knew what Parler was that it's not funny. So yeah, this came over your Facebook and all that, but yet it's okay for the marches that happened all summer. They were planned on Facebook. A lot of that stuff is, and their groups are still up, but yet we have individuals, celebrities who stand for the rights of the people, not the rights of the government, the rights of the people, being banned off Facebook, being taken down off Facebook. We have celebrities being fired from their jobs. We have normal people getting fired for their jobs for voicing an opinion. Now you're getting in trouble for the words that you say. Once again, you guys, that is censorship. You should not be fired for your thoughts. Yeah, and I don't think it's because of PTSD that they're keeping all that stuff up. It's to keep the narrative going and keep that in plain sight so that it looks like a compound for the head honchos of a third world country. It looks like a dictatorship is inside of Washington, D.C. But yeah, anyways, it is we the people. The government is there. We put them there. We vote them in. They are there to represent us, the people, not be our mother and father. And that's the whole big thing with it is, I can't remember who it was that made the tweet, but it was like, oh, now that Biden's in office, it's like back when we were 5 years old. We knew everything was safe because Dad was driving so we could lay down and take a nap. Good night, America. No, with them being in control, I'm sorry, I'm sleeping with one eye open and my weapon at my side. Because that's the picture they want us to have, that they're our parents. Biden even, I wish I had the clips. Obama came out and pretty much said that citizens are stupid. We need to make the decisions for them because they can't do it on their own. And then Biden almost said the same thing, but he brought it down to classes. And pretty much two of the minority groups don't even know how to get on the internet to find out when to get vaccinated. So we have to let them know. No, dude, you probably can't even zip your own pants up anymore. But yeah, but yet we're the ones who's racist. And they make all these remarks all the time, but claim just because they say they're not racist, so it's okay for them to make these kind of remarks. But anyways, I just wanted to touch base on a few things that's going on. And we know that there's a lot of executive orders he's signing that no one will ever know about, we'll never hear about. So anyways, I'll end this here. Everyone, stay safe, stay alert, and always do things the way they work best for you. Thank you.